Today's show is sponsored by Dr. Jacalyn. Take charge of your life personally, financially, and professionally. Visit drjacalyn.com to book an appointment today.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello and welcome to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn, live here on Business Talk Radio and live streaming from Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Our show is all about inspiring hope and stories of how people have overcome adversity. I am a certified life coach, and with me today is my co-host, Heather Dean, live from Jerusalem. Welcome, Heather Dean.
So nice to see you again, Jacalyn. Thanks for inviting me back.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure to have you. Heather is the founder of Heather Dean Productions, and she is also the author of Searching for Heather Dean, My Extraordinary Career as a Celebrity Interviewer and Why I Left. Heather, we have someone who is amazing, so accomplished. Her husband is so accomplished. They're like a powerhouse couple. And she comes to us from Portugal. Welcome, Ana Pereira.
Hi, Dr. Jacalyn. Hi, Heather. Thank you so much for having me today.
We are thrilled to have you. You are the founder of the Wellness Universe and also the CEO of Soul Ventures. Your list of accomplishments goes on and on and on. First of all, let us start out by the fact that you had worked in corporate America for a pet company. You ran a $15 million division. You were also working on self-help books. The first one's about to come out on stress. And you have put together this online global resource for 3,500 members currently. It's completely self-funded, and it's all about giving people a place to go to find out about wellness. And I must say that the one thing that really inspired me is that your vision is world peace. So I think if we had maybe a month, we could delve into all the things that you're doing and all the people that you're helping. So thank you for being here today. Can you share with us where you were and what came up for you that you decided to start this Wellness Universe?
Thank you. And thank you for that introduction. That was really heartwarming to hear. Actually, what happened was I had moved to Portugal, and that's a whole nother story in and of itself. But I had moved here and I had started a Facebook page, and I started giving out inspirational, messages, those memes that, get highly shared with inspirational little quotes on them. I used to make my own, and I really grew my Facebook page from, just a couple of people to several 100,000. In the process, I was networking with some really amazing, remarkable people who are changing the world. I also found that a lot of the people who are reaching out to us on Facebook, that we're not really prepared to help that person, for example, because our audience got so comfortable with us because we were inspiring them and making them feel comfortable, and as a resource for them to feel good. But at the same time, we weren't maybe necessarily the resource for them. Like, let's say if they were suicidal or they were dealing with domestic violence. I'm not a coach. I'm not a health coach. I'm not a therapist. And I felt the need to really help these people. And so the network that I had formed on Facebook with other healers and helpers and therapists and coaches, I was just sitting at my kitchen table one day, literally, in 2013 in September, and a download came to me, and I heard the voice say, there needs to be a place created for people changing the world, and you're the one to do it. So I held on to that little voice for a few months, and then I invited on my journey a few women. A few fell out of the project very early on, and one, Sherry Elise, stayed with the project until last year. Now she's flying solo with her own amazing career as a coach and author and speaker. But it literally came because of the need that I saw to make this space, because I too also felt like I know and I've experienced what it is to be a solopreneur. and be alone and be in a heart-centered business or be in a creative space, because I also had my own clothing line at one time, and that was very lonely. So I wanted to give the two sides. I wanted to give these practitioners and these healers and these wonderful people a space to co-create and collaborate and come together in, and then share their resources with the people who are really seeking that help, and get people of the world to understand all of these different modalities that you can get help for and how to live a holistically healthy life.
What an incredible gift you are to the world. Thank you for everything that you're doing.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank
You
you.
know, you mentioned a lot of modalities. So let's say that someone were to visit and maybe they have a few key issues, core issues that they're working on. So what do they do? How do they search out the right person to connect with? Where's the first place they land, and then what?
Great question. So if somebody was to come to our directory, and it's so, I don't know, it's so intangible when it's just the online thing, but I know the people and I know the community. So I'll talk about that piece a little bit differently. But literally when somebody's coming and they found us on Google or they found us through social media and they come to the wellnessuniverse.com, they can literally search for an individual practitioner by saying, like, you know, chronic pain. They put chronic pain in the search, or they can use these determined keywords already that's in drop down form, and they could just click on those and see what practitioners will service them in those areas. So there's two ways to search for practitioners on the site. However, we have other ways that people get introduced to the practitioners, and there's online classes and sessions that we have through a learning platform that we have. We also have our blog, so we have content that's created by the practitioners, which allows the audience to really delve deep into these different areas. Like, you know, if somebody just goes and searches weight loss, who knows about emotional eating until you get introduced to the concept of emotional eating? So this is really my mission and my goal, is to cross-pollinate people with the different ideas and modalities and ways that somebody can actually really get to the root of their issue and get the help they need through a person, an individual, or a group of coaches or therapists or doctors. You know, so there's two ways to search, but again, we create different ways that people can engage and get to know people and their modalities and what they're offering. For example, we have a retreat, a live retreat, and in that retreat, not only do our speakers come who are our coaches and they do their workshop and everything, but they are part of the retreat. So they're sitting in every other session. So they're part of the retreat along with the guests, which is a really special experience, because then we're all on the same level. And you see them going through their healing process and their journey as a leader in the industry. So everyone feels more comfortable and everybody benefits more. And that is actually called Soul Treat. We obviously had to postpone it this year and we moved it to next year, but we had two last year, and it's super amazing. So how people can get help through the site, and it's so black and white, is just go to the site and you do a search and then you can connect. But we have all these ways to engage with our members, and the book is now another one. So I hope that answers your question.
What type of onboarding process do you use for your experts? So in other words, let's say I'm a therapist and I want to join the Wellness Universe. What do I do?
You would actually just go to the site and there's a join us. You would go and sign up as a Woo World Changer. It's a small, short application, because this is also part of my mission, is to bring real people and real support to those who need it. So we just go and we check you out. I mean, we can't sit and like rifle through your sock drawer and go and have coffee with everybody, right? So we just do a light vetting process, and we go and we check and we see that you're doing what you say you claim to do, that there's some sort of footprint online, there's some sort of history. We know that you are responsible for the energy that you bring and the resources that you say to do. We just want to make sure that that's who you are and that's what you're doing. And then we review the applications, and then if you qualify, you get approved. If not, you'll get a declining email, but it's pretty simple. And then after that, you can enter into a membership level. There's 3 different levels, and I'll just talk. The highest level is $370 for the entire year, which is like not a lot to be in this type of environment where you get like the support personally, professionally, exposure, impact, the opportunities of the projects that we have for everybody to get in on. So yeah, that's the onboarding process and the fulfillment.
It sounds like it's an easy process, but also thorough. So for anyone out there who's interested in joining you, that we now know how you can do that. So that's terrific.
Yeah.
And it's,
Thanks.
sorry, Heather, go ahead.
Well, I was wondering, so if a person lands on the site and they have, you gave us a little hint of what goes on backstage with the vetting process. So keeping on that backstage stream, I'm wondering what are the top 2 or 3 searches that people, when they go to your website, that they are trying to, what issues are they trying to get help with?
There's several issues, and since we say that we're mind, body, spirit, planet, it's typically, and you know what, when somebody's searching for something, it's from your perspective, right? So you're searching for something from your perspective, and then you get introduced to you get, like I said, cross-pollinated because you've entered one keyword, and if somebody has that keyword in their profile is going to come up on a return search result. But by then looking into the different people that you're actually can get help from, you start reading how they offer what they offer and really what they're doing as far as guidance and support. Some may be through a spiritual method, some may be through a practical or a physical method. So that's why that's hard to say, because somebody comes with something like, let's say, chronic pain. Well, there's meditation for chronic pain, there's actual movement to help you with chronic pain, you know, there's all these different things. So I don't track literally what somebody plugs in,
Mm-hmm.
but we attract people who are looking for transformation and just a better life typically, but we cover, you know, everything.
And I did read that your focus is on 7 areas of wellness.
Yes. So basically we want to cover everything that we can, right? And we know everything impacts everything, and a holistic perspective is what we take, because you can't just say one pill is a cure-all, right? And there's layers to it too. So we represent emotional wellness, environmental wellness, intellectual wellness, occupational wellness, physical wellness, social wellness, and spiritual wellness. So we try to cover it all. So in that way, you know, and some people say, oh, your financial well-being. Well, yeah, that's part of it too. But there's all other things that are tied to that. Like, what's your mindset? You know, like what's your mindset? So maybe you need emotional or spiritual wellness to tackle, you know, getting a little bit better in your financial well-being.
It sounds like you're taking a holistic approach to a person.
Yes, absolutely.
Have you added any new services now that this year's upheaval with the pandemic and everything that has happened as a ripple effect? Is there a new service that you find that is being offered?
Great question. So what we do is we provide the service to our members, so our members can get out there, right? And they can perform their work so they can help transform the world and make the world a better place. I responded immediately with gathering our top level members. And I said, who here is doing pro bono work right now, sliding scale, or discounts on their services? I'm going to create a best help page. So anyone looking for services that needs help and can't afford, you know, the typical standard, you know, hourly rate or, you know, monthly or however you do it, we're going to do that. So I created that space on our site for people to come to find the best help. And we put a banner across the top of the site. So it's the first thing you see, and you know, at least there's an affordable alternative or resource out there for you. Additionally, we put together self-care symposiums, 2 full day events with between 16 and 14 different practitioners giving half-hour, 20-minute sessions in different modalities in different areas to help you have more balance in your life. So we've responded with these few things that we can do, in addition to now putting together this book on stress relief, because as we know, and I was actually having this discussion with my publisher the other day, Laura DeFranco, she's amazing. She's actually a healer herself, and she's been a member of the Wellness Universe for a long time, love her. And she and I were sharing a personal conversation where she was saying, like, I had to go out and I had to go to this place, and she's in the DC area, so she's been home a lot, and she's been, really limiting going out, as a lot of people are. You have now that, like, where you're in your bubble, and it's like, I'm safe at home, I'll just shelter in place. Excuse me. And she said over the weekend, she ended up sleeping a lot, which is unlike her. And then I said, we have this pressure that's pressing down on us like this, and it's pressing down so softly we don't realize it's there until we expose ourselves to it. And I said, it literally is like you're home. There's a raging fire outside, but you're at home and you've chosen to stay at home. You were kind of made to stay at home, but at the same time, you're choosing to, because you can go outside if you want, but there's a raging fire outside. This is so, it's pressing down on our psyche, and it is creating a stress and an anxiety that we will experience. And this is going to be a long-term situation. This is not a short-term thing. This is not just when it's over, it's over. From this, the fallout, the grief, the unsaid goodbyes to the people that were lost, the years, the time that passes, the lapse in education, the pivots that we have to personally make to be responsive, and then to look back and say, oh my gosh, I had to do that like back then. This is such a complicated issue that this is creating for mental health, that we will continue to respond and also show up for our members so they take the best steps so they can go out there and serve the world, because I do see the long-term effects of this. Also, we are currently working on our corporate and group wellness program. So in that way, employers can serve their employees, groups, and their families with the services that they wouldn't typically be able to afford on their own, let's say, or seek out, let's say. So we're working on that now too. So I'm in the middle of doing that in addition to everything else. But yeah,
Do you have a target date? Do you have a target date when that will be when that will go live, when that will launch?
We're hoping for that to launch early next year. We're right in the middle of the brace for it. Like Dr. Jacalyn said before, this has been self-funded till now. So this has been a startup, right, in beta, so to speak. And since 2014, 2015, we went live with the first site. So it's been a long time that, I've been, the custodian here in shepherding this whole project. And I call it a project because it is a project. It's not just a website and a directory. It literally is a living, breathing thing here. And so for this is where I'm doing my raise. So we're seeking our capital now for this, trying to find the right partners and investors who understand the mission, and then be able to create this. But I already have partners on board that are going to be part of that portal, part of that project. We already have a major bank in UK that wants to hire us to do a 2-year program for them already. So, I mean, just the conversation is out there, and people are pulling us towards them, but I got to get something built also where this will operate in. So, yeah. So hopefully the portal piece and the technology piece and like that gets built next year through, and we get funded, through the end of this year.
I have no doubt you're going to get funded. Who wouldn't want to support what you're doing? It's outstanding.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
We have to take a break and hear from our sponsors, but I really am in complete alignment with what you talked about the fallout from all of this. Yeah. I know myself, I run a support group for the Crohn's Colitis Foundation, and more people are having flares, more people are being diagnosed with chronic conditions, and I think, as you said, it's just the beginning. So we need you. We need the wellness universe. So let's stay tuned for more conversation. I'd like to hear about your Soul Ventures also, and about this collaboration on the book. So we'll take a break and hear from some of my friends who are sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, my name is Ralph Graves Jr. I'm the host of the Ralph Graves Jr. Show, and I want to invite you to pick up my book, Unstoppable. I wrote a book called Unstoppable. It's 7 universal laws that will transform how you pursue and achieve success. The one thing that my 20 years of law enforcement has taught me is that no matter who you are, we are all governed by universal laws, like gravity. But in this book, we're going to talk about laws like the law of forgiveness, laws like the law of control, the law of intelligent practice, the law of expectancy. I was able to see how those, no matter what their background was, those who identified and treated these laws with respect, they were able to go on and lead successful lives. So pick up this book, and you can go ahead and pick it up at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, RalphGravesJr.com, where anywhere where fine books are sold. Thank you.
There are 7.7 billion people on Earth today. 40% of these people are under the age of 25. Young adults are the most fertile mission field in the world today. In Scripture, we see Jesus pouring his life into 12 young adults who he equipped to change the world and all of history. Like Jesus, we believe that the best approach to reach the world with the gospel is to invest in young, emerging leaders and equip them to build disciple-making movements. Concentric is the notion of surrounding and sharing a common center. Our center is the model and strategy of Jesus for both leadership development and ministry formation. As a global alliance, we provide equipping in biblical leadership based on Jesus' example in the New Testament. Jesus modeled for us how to make disciples that reproduce. Focusing on leadership development is key to creating movements that spread the gospel and Jesus' disciple-making strategy to young leaders around the globe. Our Ministry Alliance partners are actively equipping leaders and building movements of multiplication that reproduce the life of Christ. Join us today to equip young leaders with Jesus' strategy that will change cities and nations.
The session that we had with BCAT was really entertaining and enlightening. We were able to put together some very specific steps that we as individuals can take, and it was really fun to all come together and see sort of where we're going as a team and how we can all get there together.
We had a tremendous experience with the BCAT partners. One of the challenges that we have as an organization is to make sure that we have the right people in the right chairs doing the right thing. To do that well, you have to have synergy. You can try to dream up ways to make sure that your group does that, or you can rely on experts. We would recommend BCAT partners to anybody who's looking to take their organization to the next level.
Academy Sedan and Limo is a full-service transportation company serving the Philadelphia metropolitan area with full knowledge of the New York City, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. areas. We pride ourselves on being the most dependable, conscientious company in the industry. Our always on-time service and dependable pricing make us the company to call for any event or occasion. Our vehicles can accommodate any size party for any occasion. Our vehicles range from four-door sedans to SUVs to minivans to limo buses to full-size tour buses and can accommodate groups of 2 to 100. We offer airport shuttle service or over-the-road service without limitation regarding mileage or time, and no drive is too long or too far. So if you find yourself in need of transportation of any type with any vehicle, give us a call at 610-842-4564 and let us show you what a real transportation company can do for you.
Use code ACADEMY2020 to receive 20% off your first 3 rides, including parking and tolls.
Make a bold statement by wearing a custom jewelry design from Margie Cedrone, Artisan Jeweler, located at 121 Haddon Avenue in Westmont, New Jersey. Telephone number 215-384-7155. Margie Cedrone is an artisan jeweler who has been a permanent fixture on the renowned Jewelers Row in Center City, Philadelphia since 1988. Starting her business in 1982, all of Margie's designs are individually handmade as well as custom design. She is one of the only jewelers left in the area who still crafts the finest tailor-made diamond jewelry, whether it's a statement piece or an everyday item. In addition to her one-of-a-kind designs, she specializes in pearl stringing and bead jewelry repairs. Margie Cedrone Jewelry pairs nearly 30 years of experience with the building of lifelong client relationships. Dr. Jacalyn has been a client and friend of Margie Cedrone for many, many years. Each week during my show, Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn, live on Business Talk Radio, I will be featuring one of the beautiful pieces of jewelry that Margie custom made for me. I urge you to contact Margie through her website, margiecedronejewelry.com. Wait no longer to make your own bold statement.
Welcome back to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn. It's so good to be here today with Heather Dean and Anna Pereira. Welcome back, ladies.
I'm really enjoying this. This is fantastic.
I know. We need more time. We have to have you back. Will you please come back, Anna? We're not done.
Yes. Thank you, ladies. And I'm enjoying this too. Thank you.
So, Anna, as we know, you are the founder of the wellnessuniverse.com, but you also are the CEO of Soul Ventures. And I was taking a look at your website. There's a really interesting story there about someone who delivered their own baby, Mako.
Oh my gosh, when was this?
July. It was just a few weeks ago or a couple weeks ago. So
okay.
Can you share with us the whole premise of what Soul Ventures is about?
Right. So what we did was when we were first, creating this, we really didn't know what direction we wanted to go because the vision was so big. And it's like, I want to make this place, but then I want to do all of these other things. I want to have retreat centers all around the world. I want to have a media company, all of these things. So Soul Ventures is actually the mother company, and we're doing business as the Wellness Universe. So that's really how those two work, because the Wellness Universe was the product that came out of this. And we didn't know what we were going to do and all the different legs, and there's going to be different names to the different areas. Mm-hmm. So, and for example, we have Soul Treat, that's our retreat, that's the name of the retreat. So, and it's going to be the third one, and hopefully it'll be global, and it'll be Coachella and all over the place in different cities. So, so that's really how Soul Ventures and the Wellness Universe kind of work.
Wonderful. And you mentioned before we went to the break about the fact that this pandemic is going to be having a huge impact on people long after it's over. And one of the key core things that many of us are feeling is stress. And you are in the process, or you might have finished already, writing a book, which is a collaboration of a number of authors writing about stress. What can you share with us about that?
Sure. Actually, it was divine timing, because for several years I've been approached by different, book producers and things to create books underneath the Wellness Universe umbrella, because we've had this brand, right? And we have all of these amazing resources. And whether they asked me to personally pen the book or to bring together a collaborative book, I was not ready, because for me, a book is a very sacred thing to put out. Once something, Heather, you just have showed your book before. Once you put out a book and something is in black and white, it's in black and white forever. Like the internet, all of this can come and go, but a book and a personal relationship, those two things you cannot replace in life. They're there. So for this book, Laura approached me just a few weeks ago, and because of the community, because of the strength that we have, it took a call out to get the authors, and about 40 people, rose to the occasion and submitted applications to be in this book. And within 4 days or 5 days, and then we picked the top 25 that were best fitting for this. Because I want to make sure also that not only are the authors who are part of this book giving valuable resource, but that they're going to be there for the people if they get reached out to. So I need to also make sure that these authors are also going to be in it for the long haul with what they're giving out. Because I want to make sure that we put this resource out, it's solid, it's value-based, and it will change somebody's life, and somebody can come to these people for the help and support they need. So it's the first in a series, which is really exciting. I won't divulge what the other ones will be yet, but it's due out in November. And we have some really great tools in there. We have already, we got some really amazing people actually from the area committed to doing the praise for the back of the book, and pretty impressive names. a media anchor person from the Philadelphia area, and also a top sports bronze medal winner, Olympian. So it's going to be life changing because there's different areas that we address, different ways that we address stress through there, and literal tools that you can implement in your life, so you can take action from any one of the 25 chapters that you open up into.
I'd also like to just change gears a little bit, because you have a whole life chapter before in the corporate world, and then you launched this whole enterprise, which is something that came from your dream, your vision, something that you want to do to change the world. When I was speaking with Jacalyn about preparing for this interview, I said, this lady, Jacalyn, she is an empire. Okay, so you've done so much gathering of the right people and the vetting and everything that you've done. So no doubt you have a team, not just Laura, your publisher, but you probably have a team that is helping you carry out your vision. So if you could just tell us a little bit about the business of, again, you have corporate experience, and now you are doing this venture on your own, but with a team. So how do you inspire your team? How do you find your team, select who's going to work with you, and then inspire them and everyone working together to carry that vision forward? If you could just talk about the business side of that.
Sure, absolutely. So, I know that we're running out of time. I'll try to be brief. My team is the core and the heartbeat of the wellness universe, because without them, you can't do something this colossal without the help, especially when there's so much to keep up with online and correspondence, and you're dealing with all of these individuals. It's huge, right? So my team is inspired every day because I show up every day, and I am the person that I want them to be. So I show up caring. Good morning, ladies. We have a group chat. Good morning, ladies. How's everything doing? Here's what's going on today for me. Let me know if you need me for anything. And I guess because we are close-knit, we are like a family, that I let them know that I'm always there for them no matter what. I create a safe space for them, no judgment. Everyone has a story. And everyone comes onto my team with my open arms, embracing them and letting them know that I'm there to support them and guide them, and always be transparent with them, which is also important. And first things first, if any of my staff ever needs me for anything, I'm there 24/7 for them. It's God, my family and friends, and my team, and then everything else.
Well, I know we have to have you back at least one more time, because as Heather mentioned, you are an empire, but you're also an inspiration to women for sure, as well as people all over the globe. You've put together this organization, first of all, self-funded. I mean, let's not diminish that. That's a major accomplishment. You're already on to your next venture, which is really interwoven with what you're doing. And I just have to say that I have to thank you. I really do. I'm so touched by everything that you're doing, and that you're so selfless, and you're so helpful, and you're just filled with kindness and compassion and your graciousness. So
I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. So it's the wellnessuniverse.com is where you can find all of these incredible resources. It's a one-stop online global directory for wellness. Anna Pereira, you are a true gift, as I've mentioned. Thank you again for being with us, especially you're in Portugal, another time zone, so we really appreciate it. Heather Dean, HeatherDeanProductions.com, and the author of the fabulous book, Searching for Heather Dean, My Extraordinary Career as a Celebrity Interviewer and Why I Left. It has been a pleasure. Thank you again for being here. Wrapping with Dr. Jacalyn has an announcement, which is we have a second program that's going to be on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and it's going to be for an hour. So I'll be providing more details on that, and I hope to see both of you lovely ladies there.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much. And thank you to Pastor Ken in Louisiana, staying safe, and to Chris in New York City, Long Island, I should say, Business Talk Radio. It's a wrap for today. We'll see you next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Make a bold statement by wearing a custom jewelry design from Margie Cedrone, Artisan Jeweler, located at 121 Haddon Avenue in Westmont, New Jersey. Telephone number 215-384-7155. Margie Cedrone is an artisan jeweler who has been a permanent fixture on the renowned Jewelers Row in Center City, Philadelphia since 1988. Starting her business in 1982, all of Margie's designs are individually handmade as well as custom design. She is one of the only jewelers left in the area who still crafts the finest tailor-made diamond jewelry, whether it's a statement piece or an everyday item. In addition to her one-of-a-kind designs, she specializes in pearl stringing and bead jewelry repairs. Margie Cedrone Jewelry pairs nearly 30 years of experience with the building of lifelong client relationships. Dr. Jacalyn has been a client and friend of Margie Cedrone for many, many years. Each week during my show, Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn, live on Business Talk Radio, I will be featuring one of the beautiful pieces of jewelry that Margie custom made for me. I urge you to contact Margie through her website, margiecedronejewelry.com. Wait no longer to make your own bold statement.